A new Valia is trying to change your mind about the hulking Marvel Studios. In a recent interview with The Hollywood Reporter, she states her expectations were much different than the reality. Does this seem like a subtle way for Disney to try and change the story around their sputtering giant? Let's dive in. Anu Valia was the latest director in the increasingly disappointing She-Hulk. In other words, episode 5 was her fault, and I guess she has 2 more opportunities to try to impress, but I'm not sure that I would go and do an interview to tout, well, episode 5. But we go on. She's known for directing female-centric fare. If you look at her IMDb, it's a who's who list of lady stuff, so to speak. And that's especially true over the last 2 years. She was part of the recent reboot of Sex and the City. So it should come as no surprise that she was a perfect fit for the She-Hulk Attorney at Law show on Disney+. Over the course of the interview that she does with The Hollywood Reporter, she fawns over the head writer Jessica Gao. In fact, you'll notice that's a common theme about Jessica Gao. Giving her props, of course, Jessica Gao that is, giving her props for the title card in the latest episode. I would imagine that the head writer has basically carte blanche over the title card, so I don't know why that was a rah-rah. But anyway, she also raved about the scripts and how absolutely she wanted to be a part of that show, because that's what got her interested, were these scripts. I think I would have run away screaming, but that's just me. The fact that directors and creatives are only given small pieces of information and no big picture is readily apparent over the course of this interview. While you are given some pieces of information about the ties to individual films or other television series, you're not given all that much at all. And to be honest with you, none of us are surprised. We also confirm that there is a lot of inexperience in these directors, at least when it comes to the technical elements like working with CGI characters. They don't really have any experience at all, coming from different parts of television. She also confirms that as a guest director, other directors and creators are actually laying out the groundwork. So she contradicts herself several times, talking about creative freedom when it comes to that regard. Ultimately, she wants us to believe that she was given dramatic creative license for episode 5 of the show, and presumably for the other 2 shows that she's directing in this series. If that's the case, then its poor reception, this episode's poor reception, is squarely on her shoulders. And I'm not sure she realized that when she did this interview. But I don't think anybody over there realizes much of anything. She does let it slip that the show is all about identity, although she doesn't exactly say it in those words. Jen is actually struggling with her identity, or this new identity as She-Hulk. Identity is a big thing at Disney right now. That explains some of the comments, of course, that Jessica Gao made about the show originally. If you were paying attention, she was talking all about identity in her earliest interviews here. The entirety of this show has actually demonstrated that no one involved actually understands how Law and Order types of shows work. In fact, they were rather eloquent in describing their ignorance prior to this interview. So far, over the course of the show, she's really only addressed one case that basically Jen was brought into this superhero law division for. Otherwise, like any good activist knows, insert yourself into the story. And that's exactly what's happening. Of course, that works really great in journalism for a short period of time. You just have to ask Taylor Lorenz. It also seems to be the only way that these writers, and it seems like most writers these days on any of these shows or films, seem to know how to proceed. That leads to the unfortunate results that we have in cinema, and specifically in this show, because the writers have such a myopic and sheltered existence, or their complete lack of life experiences. Well, it really leaves you with a shallow story, a very shallow one. Whatever it is that's lacking here, it's leading to an audience loss, a big one. And it's also leading to lower audience scores. Whatever you think of Rotten Tomatoes, and believe me, I think very little of it myself, The audience scores right now, as of this moment, sit at 39% for this show. The Metacritic user scores are actually much lower at 2.4 out of 10. That's dismally low. Some of the positive user ratings over there that are saying they're giving this a 10 out of 10, well, they even describe in their comments that it does deserve a lower score than that, like a 7 out of 10. In fact, right now I'm seeing more and more frequently the positive commentators' reviews not line up with any of their scores. You may have noticed this as well. So a rating of 10 out of 10, and going on to describe a list of shortcomings for an individual property, specifically She-Hulk, let's say, that's not going to yield a 10. If you have a list of problems with something, that's not a 10. It's not a 10 out of 10. You're misleading yourself. And since this is not a video review about episodes 5 specifically, I'll just say that your mileage is going to vary on your experience. If you're liking this show, genuinely liking it, more power to you. As I frequently say, I am not here to yuck your yum. I want you to enjoy the things that you're watching. It's just, I tend to watch things and give you my unfiltered, unfettered opinion. And hopefully that's why you come here. I find it's odd, and there's a lot of odd things here, but I find it's odd to me that an article that's specifically a shill article or a shill fluff interview, whatever you want to call this, ends up reinforcing many of the things that we've been saying and folks at Disney have been denying. They cast directors like actors, and they rely on showrunners who are also cast. Everyone gets a layout of what's expected from them by Kevin Feige, and cameos are the crutch that keep people interested in any of these shows. In fact, they're relying on cameos very heavily in the films as well. It's been an interesting few weeks, but Marvel's She-Hulk Attorney at Law has been an underwhelming product from story to effects and everything in between. Even Matt Murdock's ultimate cameo won't be enough to save it, and that's truly saying something. I have to say, spoiler alert, the helmet reveal in episode 5 was, well, sad. But hey, what do you think? Is this show at all entertaining to you? Have you found yourself slipping into it like some kind of a guilty pleasure? I'm sure some people have. Have you enjoyed the openly misandrous moments that fall like raindrops throughout every single episode? And what, if anything, has kept you coming back for more? I'm genuinely curious here. And if you'd like to answer those questions and even pose some of your own, please utilize the comments section down below, as obviously, the more engagement we have, the better it is for my video and for my channel. And with that, be sure to support other independent creators here on the platform. They absolutely deserve your support, and they honestly need it. If you want to encourage growth in any channel that you enjoy, you must comment, like, subscribe, and of course share their content so that that channel can continue to grow. And with that, I'll end the video the same way I always do. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye.
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.